basic with the ones we've redone, and we have to also do some more voiceovers for some conversations. The soundtrack, I wanted expanding and hitting in some places, but that's varying on what we can do.
Okay. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it, you know, the filming's good, and you know you can see where it's going. Just a few things like tightening up with sort of the cuts. The first sort of section before it gets like serious. I don't know. It just sort of almost dragged a little bit. Just if you could put like I mean, just for instance, if you put in just like a bass, like just before the next scene came up, it just break that up a little bit, because in the middle of that it was all happy and everyone's getting on, and then all of a sudden the guy with the knife's there, and then it goes back to being happy again. If it was just like a before that came on, then it'd break that up a bit, or just something different. Maybe if it just had like a different transition there, or just something to sort of separate it from the rest. But I think it's good.
I mean, I put the horror needs to come in earlier a bit. I think the transitions, some of the timings of them, you're right, they need looking at. Some of the where you've cut, I think like there was one shot where there's this side profile of one character and then it crabs across to the group. I'm not sure whether you need that character. He's just sort of hanging on the side. Yeah, it didn't seem to make sense to me. So I think you need to look at maybe timing of your transitions. Some of your diegetic dialogue, can't really hear it. I don't know whether you need it, but yeah, okay. I didn't like that close up of the sort of smile shot of the girl. It's this shot of looking on her own and sort of smiling.
Just a close up of Becky.
It didn't seem to work to me, that, but I think it's quite sort of what Rick was saying. I think the first part of it is weaker than the second part. I think you need to maybe intersperse, like you're saying, the happy bits with a bit more of just hints of horror, not the full blown horror, but just a bit of a little tease of the happy, but this is about to come around the corner, and then some sort of sound, and then it all kicks off.
It could only be a split second just of a shot of the guy with the knives, or something just early on.
Or the feet or something, a restricted point of view. But just, we've got the happy, we get it, but we need to start breaking it up a bit earlier. Do you know what I mean? And I wasn't sure on the end shot. I don't think it's got enough oomph. Well, she's just sort of looking up. Just put your last shot on. I think the end shot needs to be more.
It did fall slightly. It was just.
It needs. It's just a bit weak, I think.
There was just a little bit more shock in there. I don't know.
Yeah, shock, sound. I don't know whether the sound you could do something with it, or a scream, or something nasty from the character, or.
If it slowly faded out, and like you said, if there was just a scream,
or
and then
him laughing as she looks up, some nasty laugh.
Do you know
what I mean?
Yeah. Would that be a better ending?
They're pulling
being
out
dragged
of the
out.
car.
Would that be a better ending?
I think it would be. Also, I know it's a small thing, but the two last titles are on very quick. I know it's quite easy to expand those, but I think that at the very end, just as the sort of, I'd say that basically that should fade in very slowly, and then you've got a nice little animation there that sort of. So I think it should come in like fade in very, very slowly, and then you can sort of fade it out like that, because that's quite nice, and then you can have that come in. But it just needs to be a bit longer, I'd say.
I think I'd try a few different last shots. Either the look up and some nasty laugh, that she, or the last more shocking shot, but that last one as it stands, I don't think works quite right. But the first half isn't as strong as the second half of the trailer. But it's good. The shots, you've got a variety of shots. They're nicely framed. There's no sort of wobbly bits where there shouldn't be wobbly bits. There's different, distances. There's movement in there. And I think I'd tease the horror in, drip feed it in a bit more.
Alright.
You
And
still
then
need to
bang.
cut it down a bit anyway, because the limit's 130, isn't it?
Yeah,
So
I mean,
It's 135 now.
I wouldn't worry too much. They say 90, but it's if you go beyond it and everybody's falling asleep, which you're not on this, so
Yeah.
they're not going to probably up on that. So if you're going over 10 seconds, I wouldn't worry.
What grade would this be?
As it stands, as it is, it's probably looking C-ish, maybe high C, low B, a push. It's not a firm B yet, but it's because of the editing pace, that style.